Welcome into OutKick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Thursdays wherever you may be across this great country or this great land. Right off the top here, we got the Patriots against the Rams tonight in LA. And I like the Rams and I like the under in this game. But all you have to do is pick the winner for a 25-1 payout. That's a 25-1 payout. $5 wins you $125. Go sign up in Tennessee, Virginia, Michigan, Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Colorado. That's 10 different states. FanDuel.com/Clay. Go get signed up now. FanDuel.com/Clay. So, big news coming official out of the SEC, I believe, today at 6 o'clock Eastern. So, in about 3.5 hours, the 2.5 hours, the SEC will, I believe, officially announce that they are moving their SEC game on CBS over to ABC/ESPN. When that first year of the game will be played remains to be seen because CBS still has several years left on the contract. But when they do that, ESPN will own the rights to all SEC games, including the SEC championship game. Right now, CBS had those rights. Now ESPN will have all of those rights, and I think they will move more of the SEC games over to ABC so that they can have more primetime football games on ABC now instead of CBS. But the SEC sent out a release. I'll read it for you, making it clear. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey will be on a Zoom media call for a significant announcement related to the Southeastern Conference. That news went out about 12:30 Central Time 2 hours ago, and that is the takeaway. So there's a big announcement beginning at 5:30 Eastern, I believe it is. 4:30 Eastern. In about an hour, Disney will probably go ahead and tease this and officially announce that it's going to happen at their big presentation to investors. It'll be one of the big details that they release, but that is information that I would be stunned if we don't actually get. So that is coming later today. Colin Kaepernick, everybody's favorite social justice warrior, Colin Kaepernick, now has a new ice cream. And I'm describing it as an ice cream, even though technically it's not an ice cream. Let me read for you. It is called Change the World. It's non-dairy because who doesn't love ice cream without milk? And it is going to be called Change the World, meaning like a whirl on a whirling dervish, for instance, as opposed to a world. It comes with fudge chips, graham cracker swirls, and chocolate cookie swirls as well. Again, Colin Kaepernick now has his own ice cream. And on the ice cream, Kaepernick is pictured holding up a Black Power fist. If you questioned whether woke capitalism has reached its logical extension, I would like you to go back in time and talk to Stokely Carmichael and Huey Newton, I believe, of the Black Panthers back in the 1960s and say, America's going to be so racist in 2020, you're not going to believe what's going on. They're going to say, brother, tell me. Tell me what is going on in 2020. And they are going to say, these white dudes, these hippies, these dudes, Ben and Jerry, they make ice cream and they make it out of Vermont. And they are going to let an athlete who made $10 million a year or $20 million a year when he actually played quarterback, they're going to have him holding up the Black Power fist on some ice cream cartons. And they would have been like, what? Okay, where's the racism part? And they were like, man, it's so bad in 2020 that a ton of white people want to buy ice cream from a dude holding the Black Panther signal up. And they'll be like, all right, man, I'm waiting for it. Where's the racism? I mean, are you not hearing me? It is so bad in 2020 that they are going to put a Black Power sign on a white man's ice cream. And that's going to help it sell. Because that's how woke people are. Serious to world. Can you imagine their response? So what you're telling me that America is so racist in 2020 that a dude who's not even an athlete, who refused to stand for the national anthem, gets an ice cream deal? Yeah, that's how racist America is. Only in America, to steal from Don King, can an athlete make himself filthy rich talking about how bad America is as an endorsement deal. I can't even imagine. And if you're one of those people who's like, Colin Kaepernick is a civil rights icon. Did Martin Luther King Jr. have an ice cream deal? Did Malcolm X sign an ice cream deal? What do you think would have happened if you had tried to get Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and Stokely Carmichael and Huey Newton to sign ice cream endorsement deals? Do you think they would have done it? Do you think they would have lended their name and the Black Power slogan to an ice cream? A non-dairy ice cream, I might add. They probably would have said, what's the point of ice cream without milk, without dairy? I'm not a vegan. I eat steaks. But that's where we are today. America is so racist and so irredeemably, irreconcilably unfair that a guy who's not good enough to play quarterback can make more money from Nike and more money from ESPN and more money from Ben & Jerry's, not actually playing sports, but telling us all how awful America is, and capitalism is flourishing as a result. What I call woke capitalism, where nincompoops and idiots purchase products that are being sold to them as if they represent woke idiocy, when in reality, they just line the corporation's profit. It's crazy. It's insane. Welcome to 2020. I will be honest with you. The Colin Kaepernick ice cream doesn't sound that bad to me. But I think if Malcolm X had gotten a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar deal, it might have undercut his overall message. Just tossing it out there. And if Stokely Carmichael had started to endorse the Snickers ice cream bar, I think people might have said, this feels a little bit like he might be selling out. I think if Huey Newton, holding the M16, had put it down and started holding up the Nutty Buddy and saying, I'm angry, but nothing makes me happier than a Nutty Buddy, and then there was a Black Power fist on the side of the Nutty Buddy, I think some people would have been like, hey, I don't know. This seems a little contradictory. Just tossing it out there. Congrats to Colin Kaepernick on his new ice cream deal. Sorry, non-dairy treat deal with Ben & Jerry's. Speaking of ridiculousness, I got to give props to LSU. Only in the SEC can you manage to actually do a ridiculous thing and somehow keep a straight face while doing it. LSU is 3-5 on the season. After going 15-0 last season, their entire business of football has collapsed around Coach O. He's like Nero playing the fiddle while all of Rome burns. And LSU came out and they say, you know what? I think we can solve this. I know we got a lot of issues off the field. I know we've been cheating as much as you can possibly cheat. I don't hold it against LSU. That's just what it takes to win. But I do think it's amazing that they were like, hey guys, let's all get together. Let's all huddle up. We're going to have to do something here to make up for the fact that we got caught cheating dead to rights. And somebody said, what if we announce that we're not going to a bowl game this year? And everybody else around the table was like, you know what? That is genius. We're 3-5. We're probably going to Birmingham. We might get sent to Shreveport. Nobody wants to spend Christmas and New Year's there. We have a lot more fun in Louisiana, going down to New Orleans, hanging out in Baton Rouge. Hell, I'd rather be at some people's houses than actually go to those bowl games. This is killing probably forever my long-term endorsement deal with the Birmingham Bowl and with the Shreveport Bowl. And so as a result, what happens? They come out and they announce selflessly that they are taking a bowl ban. And that as a result of that bowl ban, they will actually make sure that they never cheat again. Remember, LSU is 3-5. In 2 days, they're going to get obliterated by Florida and fall to 3-6. And then in a few days after that, the next week, they theoretically play LSU and they might Ole Miss, and they might lose that game too to fall to 3-7. Either way, I got to be honest with you, not that good of a season for LSU. They don't want to go to a bowl game. They will go to a bowl game. You used to have at least a 6-6 record. This year, so few teams actually want to go to bowl games that anybody who wants to go basically can go. Vanderbilt may get to go to a bowl game if they want to at 0-10. So LSU self-imposed a bowl ban, sitting at 3-5, about to fall to 3-6. That is next level SEC genius. I love everything about it. How about this story? My wife actually came up to me on this story, and she said, "You're not being tough enough on this Jemele Hill Carrie Champion story where they asked Jake Paul if it was racist that he knocked out Nate Robinson, who was a black man." And she said, "I went back and watched that video, and you are buying into the idea that this was an intentional joke." She said, No. That's not what's going on. Those girls are mean girls. And they were trying to set up Jake Paul to say something stupid so that they could get him in trouble by asking him if it was racist to knock out Nate Robinson. And when he told them that was a stupid question and that they should know better than asking a boxer a question like that, they tried to laugh it off and claim that it was a prank. But it wasn't a prank. This is an example of what Jemele Hill and Carrie Champion do. They call everything racist all the time, all day, every day, and wait for people to fall into their trap that they set for them so that they can then call them racist. They were hoping that Jake Paul would say something inappropriate in response to that idiotic question. And if he had, they would have used it against him. You know who believes that that's true, who actually has the same exact opinion as my wife, who I got to give credit to, told me this before I even read the article from this. Evidently, Jake Paul has an entourage. And one of the members of his entourage is a guy named, let's see, what's his name? Let's see. I'm going to find it here in a sec. His name is, let's see, DeJuan Butler. DeJuan Butler is evidently a former athlete who is a big buddy of Jake Paul. And DeJuan Butler got on social media, Instagram, and said, and I quote, "Fire this dumb, goofy bitch ASAP. She effed up our vacation, LOL. Her Doberman pincher face having ass. That's why I don't be supporting all of that BLM crap." So that is DeJuan Butler saying that, you know what? Jake Paul was actually trying to be set up, and I don't know why he did an interview with a crappy show that has no actual fans. And as a result, Jake Paul was tried to be set up, and then Jemele and Carrie Champion tried to laugh it off, which is what my wife said mean girls always do. I'm not an expert in the mean girl lifestyle, but they create the situation and then they lie about it and try to make it look like you are the one who is overreacting when it was them trying to get Jake Paul in trouble. And certainly that's what one of Jake Paul's buddies, who again played college football for Hawaii, DeJuan Butler, put on his social media account. I can't keep up with all these social media accounts. I got Twitter. That's pretty much it. I have an Instagram account. I don't even like posting pictures. I can barely keep up with that. But that's my wife's theory. That's also DeJuan Butler's theory. All right, let's talk about this Hunter Biden story for a minute. Okay? To me, this Hunter Biden story represents the apex of media voluntary work in favor of Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, and big tech censorship to try to protect Joe Biden as well. Okay? This Hunter Biden story and everything involved in it was broken by the New York Post, and everything that has since come out that all of a sudden everybody's paying attention, there is a legitimate investigation into Hunter Biden's behavior, into whether or not he committed money laundering, into his relationships with Chinese companies, all of it. It was all documented in the New York Post story. One of the top partners of Hunter Biden went on with Tucker Carlson and did a sit-down interview about Joe Biden himself being involved in this business deal with Chinese companies, and the fact that Joe Biden was going to get a significant stake in the business as well. It was all laid out. This is readily straightforward. Do you know what all the mainstream media colluded and conspired and told us? They said, oh, this is a Russian disinformation campaign. Even though Hunter Biden's own laptop was allegedly involved, even though there were tons of videos from Hunter Biden involved in that story as well, they elected not to cover it because they were afraid it would hurt Joe Biden in the election, and they wanted Joe Biden to beat Donald Trump. Okay? The reality is this. Everything that Democrats spent 4 years accusing Donald Trump and his family of with Russia, Hunter Biden may well have actually been doing on behalf of the Biden family. And all the scrutiny and all of the investigation and the impeachment and everything connected to it, ultimately it amounted to nothing compared to what is alleged against Hunter Biden and the Biden family. Yet the media breathlessly covered every aspect of the Donald Trump allegations, from the Steele dossier on down associated with Russia, and they barely have touched anything surrounding Joe Biden and all of the China situation. Now, the big story here to me, and this is a massive story, is not only did the mainstream media elect not to cover this story, but big tech companies, Facebook and Twitter, refused to allow the New York Post to even publish their story, and they locked the accounts of any people who were trying to share it. That is unbelievable behavior from big social media companies. Moreover, they labeled this story as false, and it now is readily apparent that there is a substantial amount, at least, to it, certainly much more than was ever to the Russia collusion. This is a monumentally big story, and it represents what I get fired up about, which is platforms that claim to be unbiased not actually adopting content-neutral policies. They are picking sides. They are choosing which information is distributed and which is not. Whether it's YouTube with Google, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, there is a cottage industry of people designing algorithms to allow information to win that is inaccurate, while claiming that accurate information isn't to be trusted. It is the very definition of flagrant hypocrisy, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed now. Sooner rather than later. I appreciate all of you. DBAP, unless you need to. SBAP, my name is Clay Travis. This is OutKick the Coverage. I appreciate all of you. Go get your bets in tonight. I'm on the Rams, and I am on the under. I will be live in about an hour on Fox Bet Live. I appreciate all of you. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. Kisses from me to you.